Hello students, I hope you are doing good. I welcome you back to the same chapter, that is electricity, which is part 2, and we are going to move further to our topic. Today we are going to talk about the topic that is Ohm's law. This law was stated by George Simon Ohm, okay? And according to him, what does it say is, at constant physical conditions like temperature, that means there should be the constant temperature. When the temperature is kept constant, then the amount of electric current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its end. So here the current is denoted as I and the potential difference is denoted as V. So what we can write it over here is I is directly proportional to V, or you can also say V is directly proportional to I. Okay, directly proportional का मतलब क्या होता है कि when there is a change in the V, there will be the same change in the I. That means there is the direct relation. That means when the potential difference is increased, then the current will also increase. When the potential difference is decreased, then current will also decrease. Okay, so when we talk about the direct proportional, there should always be a constant. Okay, so here we will have a constant, that is R, which represents resistance. Okay, and here you need to know that is, according to this law, conductors are divided into ohmic conductors and non-ohmic conductors. It means those who follow Ohm's law are ohmic conductors, and that do not follow Ohm's law, they are called as the non-ohmic conductors. In a simple sentence, what we can say is the voltage, current and resistance is interrelated. They are related to each other. Okay, so when the voltage, okay, is increased, that means the current through the resistor will also increase. Number one, that means when the voltage will increase, then current will also increase, and the voltage, when it will decrease, then the current automatically will also decrease. This is the Ohm's law. That means whatever the effect is given in the potential difference, it will be same in the current flow. Okay, so how we can write the Ohm's law? Ohm's law can be written as V is equals to IR, where V is the potential in volts. Okay, the SI units of potential difference is volts. Okay, and the potential in volts can be in joules per coulomb. Okay, and then I is current in ampere, and 1 ampere can be 1 coulomb per second. How much coulomb of charge is like traveled in per second. Then next one is the resistance in 1 ohm. 1 ohm means volt upon ampere. Okay, so current passing through the resistors and drop across a resistance. This one you have to remember. You have to remember this formula. V is equals to IR. This is Ohm's law. It states that there is the relationship between the potential difference across a conductor and the current flowing through it. For example, this is the conductor, okay, and this is the conductor, and there is the potential difference. Okay, so potential difference is there. How much amount of potential difference is there? That much amount of current will be flown through that. Okay, so the what other way you can say is the current flowing through the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference. The same sentence which I stated before, same I am repeating. Okay, the current, okay, the current flowing through the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference between the ends. Okay, so this one can be written as this one also. The potential difference is directly proportional to the current. Okay, when we know that whenever we are talking about the direct proportional, that means there is one constant. So constant here is R. If you will take R outside, okay, V is equals to, it was IR. Okay, but when you take out R value, it will be V by I. Okay, And what is the R over here? R is the constant called the resistance for a given metallic wire at a given temperature. Again, in detail, they have given about the resistance. Resistance is the property of a conductor to resist the flow of current through it. For example, this is the conductor. What is the function of a resistor? It will resist, or it will try to stop the flow of the what? The current. It will try to stop the flow of the electrons from it. Okay. So according to Ohm's law, R is equals to V by I. So in other words, what you can say? R is directly proportional to V and R is inversely proportional to R. What do you mean by inversely proportional? See over here, what is inversely proportional? Directly proportional, I told you, whatever the effect will be here, the same effect will be here. For example, directly proportional means when I increases, V also increases. When I decreases, V also decreases. But when we talk about inversely proportional, so opposite happens. For example, I is equals to 1 by R. Can you see over here in the like formula it is given over here? Can you see this? R. Okay. So inversely proportional means when the current is increased, then the resistance will decrease. When the current will decrease, that means the resistance will decrease. Opposite when it happens, that means it is inversely proportional. When the same changes occurs, that means it is directly proportional. So what it is written over here from the above formula, what we can learn is when the resistance is doubled. When the resistance is doubled, that means the current gets half. The current gets half. When it is doubled, the current gets half. Again the same thing. Again we are repeating the same. Current flows through an ideal conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference and inversely proportional to the resistance. Okay. Conductor is also known as the resistor. An ideal conductor is a material whose resistance does not change with the टेम्परेचर. आइडियल कंडक्टर वो कौन सा होता है जिसका रेजिस्टेंट चेंज नहीं होता है. एंड दिस इज द फॉर्मूला वोल्टेज इज इक्वल्स टू करंट इनटू रेजिस्टेंस, V is equals to I. And this one can be written in Ohm's law triangle. ठीक है. If you know, if you want to find out V, it will be I into R. If you want to find out I, it will be V divided by R. If you want to find out R, it will be V divided by I. Okay. So here also to find voltage, what will be the formula? V is equals to IR. To find the current, the formula would be I is equals to V by R. And to find again the voltage, or sorry, the resistance, it will be R is equals to V by I. So by this Ohm's law triangle, you can find any of the things which is missing, either a current or a voltage or a resistance. So here is this picture you can see over here. In a simple way, what you can say is current running through a circuit is controlled by voltage and resistance. So what you will understand, current is controlled by, okay, the flow of the current is controlled by what? Controlled by the potential difference, that is voltage and resistance. These two are important for how much amount of current will be flowing through the conductor. Okay, so same again this triangle. In this way the formulas can be generated. Through the graphical representation also we can explain, like by the VI graph. VI graph means potential difference, and when the current is plotted into the graph, current in the x-axis and potential difference in the y-axis, okay, and we are using a conductor like nichrome wire, okay, so we will be getting a straight blue line because Ohm's law denoting the linear, that means increase in current as the potential difference increases. That means when we are increasing the amount of potential difference, the amount is current is also increasing. That is why we are getting a straight line. So now we are going to talk about rheostat. Okay, what is a rheostat? Actually, it is a device, okay, it is a device which is used to change the resistance, okay, which is used to change the resistance in a circuit, okay. And when the resistance is changed over here, that means it is regulating the current without changing the voltage, okay. Can you understand? It is regulating the current without changing the voltage source, and this type is called as the variable resistance, okay. And what do we say? And a special type of rheostat is also called as the potentiometer. Special type of rheostat is called as the potentiometer, and this is the symbol for a rheostat. Okay. Quick revision of the Ohm's law. It states that the current flowing through the conductor at constant temperature is directly proportional to the potential difference across the conductor. I is directly proportional to V, so we will be getting I is equals to V by R. R is the constant, which is called as the resistance. So out of from the above statement, we can find out these three formulas to calculate. Here they have given three examples how to calculate. For example, V is given, I is given, and R is not given. So by applying this formula, you can find out. Here I is not given, V is given, R is given. You apply the formula and you'll get it. And same will go for here when you have to find out the V. V is potential difference. You have to remember this triangle. When you know this triangle, you can very easily solve any kind of numericals. For example, one example given over here. What voltage is needed to produce 0.3 ampere current through a 100 ohm resistor? So that means here the resistor has been given, and here again the current is given. So what do you have to do? You have to find the voltage or the potential difference. You just have to apply the formula and you will get the answer. One more very important things that you need to remember is resistance and Ohm's law. What is the relation between the resistance on the Ohm's law? Okay, resistance, it always works or opposition to the flow of the electrons. Okay, resistance is always in the opposition to the flow of electrons. The electrons, however, are not completely free to move within a conductor. Okay, they are restrained by the attraction of the atoms among which they move. Thus, the motion of the electrons through a conductor is retarded by its resistance. So what is the function of a resistance means? Resistance, it resists or stops the flow of the electrons. Already there is very less movement inside the conductor, and even though some of them are moving, what it does, the resistance tries to stop its movement. Okay, so what happens once a component of a given size that offers low resistance, that is called as the good conductor. So that means if the material which gives low resistance means it does not stops the flow of the electrons. For example, this is a conductor. Okay, this is a conductor, and in this the resistance is very less. That means here the electrons are free to move. There is no restrictions. So that means what happens? It is considered to be a good conductor. On the other hand, if there is another material in which the resistance is high, okay, resistance is high, so that means the flow of the electrons are blocked. That means they are considered to be the insulators. And what is the unit of measurement is of the resistance is ohm, and it is measured by ohm meter. How much amount is their resistance? It will be calculated by ohm meter. And how much it is how to you have to resist it, you will use the rheostat. So that's it all for today about the Ohm's law. Thank you, students.